These are the Tablewar cases, and I'm going to use the first 30 or 45 seconds of each video to show you the size comparison. On the bottom is the Tablewar full-size case. I haven't taken the paper off yet, even though I've had it for a few months. On top of that is the half case, so it's the same width and depth, just not as tall. And on top is what they call the mini, which is a third as wide and a little bit shorter and a little bit less deep, and it was designed to go on airplanes and such. So here's your size comparison of the three cases, and now we'll move on to looking at the individual cases. Okay, this is the standard size Tablewar case. I did leave the protective paper on it. I just haven't gotten around to taking it off. My understanding is it's really tight. If you hair dryer it, it'll peel off more easily. The minis took me a long time to get the paper off. The half stack peeled right off with no problem, so I'm just waiting to see, and I just haven't gotten around to it even though I'm using it. But at least the acrylic's not scratched. Anyway, it's the same basic setup as the prior mini that we looked at, except it's got two clamps on the sides, one on each of the tops. And as an option, I did get the cup holders. That is completely frivolous, I understand, but as you can see, it was just for fun. So again, pretty heavy duty handle, a little bit, I would expect it to be a little less movement in the case itself, maybe a little bit thicker up here on the top, but it still is okay. So again, just like the other, opens up this way, and you can see about how much I could put something taller in here. It comes standard with 3 of these display trays and a drawer. Now this drawer in the big one, you can actually fit some stuff in. So you could get a codex and a rule book and some dice and your templates all in there. So unlike the mini, I think that one is actually of some value. Just to show you how much you can get in here, and I have not put the little pieces in the bottoms of these, I just left them metal for now. So again, you can see though, there are lots of different configurations you can do. You can make displays, they have display trays, there's lots of things that you can make them so it looks just like you want it. You can go straight to a display table. You can pop these out, and you can actually you can base them just like your bases. You've got lots of opportunities to do what you want. And they adjust size on these rails. You could buy these rails as just a rail set, so you can actually put them in your shelving units at your house. So that's that is a pretty neat way to go back and forth. Again, I like it so that because you can stand them all up and you're not going to have problems with bits getting broken off as you're pulling out of foam, or little pokey parts getting caught in the foam. But just like with the small one, you're going to be really dependent on height, so you have to really make everything about the same height if you can on each rack. Now I'm pulling these out just to show you what I'm talking about. So pull this out. Height can really do you in on this. Okay, if you're a player who's mostly Space Marines, it's not really going to be an issue, or if you don't have really tall things, so you can put these. Now you're only going to get about 3 or 4 of those across, so IG, yeah, you can get tons of infantry in here, but if you're one of these players that has a big tank company, that's not going to go so well. And then for players like me, I play mostly when I play 40K, and I'm taking this from a 40K perspective, but the comments will be the same. A few of these, and now you've really shrunk how many trays you can have. Additionally, I like to magnetize my stuff so I can keep them flatter, but if you're going to do this, a few of these, and that's really going to significantly decrease the amount of case. And this is more of a display case as much as it is a transport case, and trying to magnetize them flat like that just is not going to work real well. And I apologize, it's not done being painted yet. So from a display case standpoint, it is great. from a transport, it's got some issues. And that's just if you have a lot of disparate model sizes, that's going to be a problem. Or if you're like me, you can't put them in straight. You do have to be careful that you don't clip off the top of other things as you're putting them in. And, you know, again, this does not do anything, and this is not, I'm just showing, this one's not magnetized like the other, or doesn't have a tin plate like the other one does. So just slide that in. You can have it without to increase your size a little bit. While I have this out, you can only put them in one way, and you can see right here they have the little rails to get on, or grooves to go on the rails. Other bits and pieces about this. This one does, the front does come off, but it comes off in a different manner than the other one does. So it just slides off. As you can see, it's not a post, but has the little grooves there, and they just hook on. So not quite as stable when you pull it off. I mean, the door may fall off, and then this does open up. You can put your books on there, you can do whatever. So I can't think of much else about this other than talking about cost. This one actually will run you about $200 with the 3 trays and the drawer. It's 20 inches by 10 inches by 19. I'm sorry, it comes with 4 display boards, not 3. I was wrong up front. The trays themselves, these little trays here, these pieces, they run anywhere from $4.50 to $6 or $7, and you're going to need 3 of them per display board. They do make a double-size one for the mini that would work in here, and they do make a full-sized one that's just to do a display if you want to do a diorama. That you can get that as well. So pretty versatile from that standpoint. Options include the drink holder, and you can either get clear or solid doors. Comes in 3 or 4 or 5 colors now. It used to just come in black. And then you can also get the rail set like we talked about. The rail set I think is $40 for a set. You can just move it from your box onto a shelf, which is kind of a neat idea. Other than that, that is about it for this one. I would say durability, it's pretty good. I would probably give it a 4 for the durability. Cost, again, at $200, you can get a lot of models in here, but if you start stacking them up, that goes away real fast. So I'm going to give it a 2 for cost, give it a 4 for flexibility, and then I would give it weight. It's definitely a 1. It is a heavy thing. Transportability, I'm going to give it a 2, and you can't stack because of the big handles on them. I mean, if you stack them so they can lean on a wall in case they fall over, but if you try to balance, it's not going to be a real good thing. And then capacity, I'll give it a 4. This is pretty big, and you can get a lot of models. There's 60, there's 120. You could get another 180. I mean, you could easily get 240 infantry models in here, or maybe 120 infantry models and 3 or 4 vehicles, as long as they're not tall skimmer type vehicles or flyers. But like the Mini, the ratings don't really mean a whole lot, because this one's more about the display aspect and being able to set it up. And eventually, you know, one year I will get around to actually basing all of my trays, those that aren't magnetized, and that is something you can do too. You can magnetize these little pieces instead of just gluing them to the tin. And I think I will do something on just those in a little bit. So that's this Tablewar case. It's a good case. I like it. It's a display case. I don't know that I would use it for a lot of transporting of a big army, but otherwise it is nice, and I like it. It's one of the more fun cases to play with.